I'm Linden Thorp. I'm the creator of Lodestone, which is an amazing new product to really reconstruct your nervous system. It's based on spiritual ideas combined with science and neuroplasticity and so on. And it really brings together most of my training and background. So be sure to check it out. But today I'm going to give you a short presentation. And this really is about inflammation. Now, if you've been with me on LinkedIn this week, I've been really sorting out inflammation and describing how it can be improved, how we can avoid it altogether, and so on and so forth. So please check out my profile and you'll find lots more information. There's a lot of information about inflammation. Information about inflammation. So we need to be thoroughly aware of it. So without further ado, let's get started. I've got a short presentation for you which will put across my ideas, and then I'll chat a little bit more about various things that are happening that could help you to detect your own rates of inflammation. Really, inflammation is the key. It's the key to so many diseases that human beings are falling prey to. Things like cardiovascular problems, diabetes. A lot of this is to do with inflammation. And inflammation is interesting because it's the next stage of evolution in a way, because we need to overcome cellular problems and spiritual problems too. And that's where I come in. I'm an embodiment mentor, and I bring together a scientific approach and a spiritual approach. So if you'd like to know more about how to really get to grips with your own health and take responsibility for it, please stay with me and I'll give you this little presentation. Just a moment. Let me find my slides. Here we are. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, okay. All right. So let's get started. I'll get into a bigger zone and then you'll... And by the way, welcome to LinkedIn members. I'm streaming live to LinkedIn and to YouTubers. I'm streaming live to my channel there too. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining me. Okay, so inflammation. Yes, this has been the topic of the week for me this week. Inflammation is a problem, especially as we start to age. It becomes more of a problem. And I wanted to know the ins and outs of it, and have done so for many months. I've been researching this. And so really, I think I can shed some light on the truth about it and how my Lodestone product works to repair your nervous system, and also how Zinzino's balance oils, which Zinzino is my partner company, can really complete the process. Zinzino and Lodestone really dovetail beautifully together. So if you want the answer to cooling your fire, then let's get going. Okay, let's move on. So, really, inflammation is a kind of epidemic. Over 36 million deaths in 2024 were attributed to inflammation-based conditions. This is mammoth, really. Of course, this is happening in the developed world. The undeveloped world has different health problems. But yes, in general, our lifestyle, the stress, the addictions to substances, the ups and downs, the lack of a kind of calm, flowing river of your life, which causes the body to react, and especially stress. Yeah, and these conditions that are brought on really by inflammation include, as I mentioned, cardiovascular disease, heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and any autoimmune problems. But also on the mental health side of things, which I've also been talking about a lot this week, then depression can often be caused by inflammation. And the inability of the body to flow. We are 90% water. Human beings are 90% water. And if we don't have the flow, if we're not flowing, then problems start to appear. But inflammation, I don't want you to get the idea that inflammation is entirely physical. Absolutely not. It's emotional, it's mental, and most of all, it's spiritual. We are in an era, a crazy digital era with robots taking over and things like this, when our physical, our spiritual lives are neglected perhaps, our mental lives are out of balance, and our emotional needs are really changing and demanding and so on. It's time for us to really help the mind and the spirit, as remember there are three sides of the core for every human being. There's the physical, there's the mental or mind, and there is the spiritual. I've had lots of conversations this week with scientists who deny they have any kind of spirit. But it's all around us. We are spirit. Our natures are spirit. And that's how human beings come into the world, through the DNA line, but very much as spirit. And we can see this so clearly in newborn babies, but remarkably and rather kind of shockingly perhaps, we can see it when people die too. And I've certainly experienced that a lot. We have a lot of very open policies here in Japan. I'm speaking to you from Japan about death. There is no hiding it. If someone dies, then everyone gets together and spends the wake with the body. It's not hidden away, it's there. And they lovingly lavish it with oils and hydrate it and so on, ready for the cremation. So I've been to several funerals and I've actually seen the body without its spirit. And I saw that too with my own father. He died. Unfortunately, I couldn't be with him. But when I went to see his body, it was not my father at all. The spirit had left. So we are spirit. And the other really extraordinary thing that I find people ignore or deny is that we are living in an invisible realm as well as a visible realm. Yes, visible right now. You can see me, you can hear me, you can see my slides. That's the visual world, very intellectual world. But if you close your eyes and if you go inside your inner core, then you go into the invisible realm. And the invisible world is vast by comparison with the visible world. And it's the world of feelings. It's the world of prayer and meditation. It cannot be denied. Yeah. So this is my plea for scientists to please accept that there is a spiritual aspect to every single human being. And spirit has nothing to do with religion. I'm not talking from a religious point of view at all. I'm talking from a human point of view. I don't have a religion. I am a human being. That's my religion, and that's my race as well. And although I've trained as a Buddhist for most of my life, Buddhism is not a religion. It doesn't create dependence. And other religions do. I'm not dependent on anybody or anything. So that's another reason I want to really push the idea of taking responsibility for our health. And in fact, that's one of the reasons I created my Lodestone product, to give you individual power to repair your nervous system and to get back in touch with your authentic self. So many people are not in touch, and so we're having epidemic appearance of imposter syndrome, money guilt, depression, overburdened people, burnout. And here in Japan, we have more than 20,000 people a year who kill themselves because of responsibility in their jobs. In a crucial era where we have to start to allow our spirits, our bodies and so on, and our minds to catch up with each other. The body is by far miles ahead. It's 100% evolved. It's a remarkable thing, the human body. And that's why I'm an embodiment specialist, because I'm fascinated and always have been by the human body. It's remarkably evolved. The scientists say it can't evolve any further. But the mind and the spirit are very poorly evolved. Some people say only 10% by comparison. Yeah, that's why the world is in such chaos, because our spirits and our minds are not in tune with, they're not aligned with our remarkable, miraculous bodies. So, yeah, this epidemic of inflammation is one of the results of this imbalance, because stress is one of the main contributors. If you've ever seen anybody with panic syndrome, wow, that is really revealing and terrifying. I've seen it quite a lot in Japan. People tend to panic here. Not surprisingly, we're in an earthquake country, so, you know, and stress is very prevalent here in many ways. And so a panic attack is something incredible to behold. So let's move on and see what else we can learn. Yeah, so inflammation is not a weakness. And I'm afraid that's something that people may feel and may not want to admit. We're finding this with mental health as well. People don't want to admit that they feel they're going crazy. And so that's why I like to work one-to-one. And I work in big organizations one-to-one as well. It's not a group sport, because each human being is unique and delicate, and their spirits are special. And so, yeah, I refuse to work in groups. So what is it? What is chronic inflammation? Well, of course, chronic is the medical word for uncurable, but that's a bit dramatic. It is curable if your body, mind, and spirit are balanced. So the medical model doesn't take them into account. It only looks at the body, usually. So if you have long-term immune activation and also cellular stress, so stress at the cell level will really cause inflammation. And there are many culprits for this, but one is a poor diet. Yes, what you eat really does affect your whole being, body, mind, and spirit. If you have a poor diet, fast food, eating irregularly, and so on, then your body will tell you about that. We have great heat here in Japan at the moment, and an elderly friend of mine recently collapsed. She's very fit, incredibly fit for her age, and we thought it was heat stroke, but in fact it was all due to not eating properly. Yeah, the problem is, as we get older, our appetites get smaller. Well, mine doesn't actually, but I wish it did. But many other people have a problem with appetite. And this friend of mine couldn't eat. It was too hot. And so she collapsed. And this is where the body protests. She hadn't eaten for a couple of days properly. Yes, chronic stress. If you have stress for a long period without a let-up of any kind, without any mindful practice or pause or fun, then it's going to affect your body, and your body will react strongly at a cellular level and an immune level too. So you may find you're more likely to get infections and generally feel out of sorts. Trauma, yes, of course, people who experience terrible trauma, accidents, sudden deaths, whatever they are, of course this really affects inflammation. And sadly, I hate to mention this, but environmental toxins. Yes, we're living in very polluted air mostly, especially in cities, and we eat preserved foods, which are toxic eventually. So it's important to try to find a clean way of living without pollution, as far away from pollution as possible. I live just outside Tokyo, but I live in a hugely rural area that is full of the most beautiful, enormous trees. And of course, trees are well known for cleaning the air. And so I really feel, even though I'm close to a very polluted area of Japan, I really feel I'm protected by the trees, continually protecting me, I think. So where you live, your location is really important too. What are the symptoms of chronic inflammation? Well, fatigue, if you're constantly feeling tired, unclear brain fog, maybe gut problems. Yeah, if you're having strange things happen down in your gut, the gut is a real indicator of inflammation. Joint pain, this is common too. And of course, in terms of mental health and general behavior, mood swings. You may be irritable, you may have no patience. These are all very clear signs of chronic inflammation. So, don't worry, it's not a weakness. It's a very strong sign that the times we are living in need handling specially. We need special kind of way or route to deal with these modern problems. So, inflammation is a kind of spiritual alarm. Yeah. If you're experiencing it, then it's the right time to stop and examine closely what's going on in your body. It really is the body's cry for reconnection and regulation. And very often it's also a sign in spiritual terms that you're disconnected from the earth, from your breath, you're not feeling joy, and you haven't got a natural rhythm. It's unnatural. Your circadian rhythms are out of sync. And this is what happens. I think these two people in the image really show that. This woman is very definitely not suffering from inflammation, but this guy is very closed. He looks depressed. He's tight. His joints are folded up tightly. This is maybe an inflammation victim. And yes, inflammation has a very strong link with resilience. We talk about resilience only in mental terms. We think it comes from the brain. Not at all. You can have a resilient way of thinking about things, but that's a different topic to resilience at root level. It starts in the body. Everything starts in the body. Everything starts in the body. The body tells the truth. The mind is often deluded. It embroiders. It goes right off at a tangent. But the body doesn't. The body is completely truthful, and it will tell you the truth. The trick is, can you listen to it? Some people think resilience, which our last event was entitled Resilience, and we had a very special guest, Ebby Sheila, who's a good friend of mine, and she told some great stories about how resilient she had become through chronic pain in her life. The body, you see, the body needed working on, and no amount of therapy or medication, chemical medication, can really help. Resilience, some people think it's a kind of force. No, it's the body remembering and restoring itself. And that's what the body is really good at, if you allow it. But the mind steps in and diverts attention away from the body. We kind of put it on a shelf. We let it get on in its own way and sit around waiting for other people to maintain it, cure it, give it sustenance. We outsource the body very often. But the body is your origin, it's your root. We cannot deny it. We cannot ignore it. And yet people do. Many people I have met, they really are numb from the neck down, because the concentration on mental strategies, on mental approaches to everything is really constantly pulling them away from the idea of the body, from the reality. The body is reality, the mind is not. That's another topic for another time, but yes, you're only going to find reality inside your inner core. And that's what my lodestone does, takes you inside, focuses on your ability to listen with your whole body. It's called detecting vibrations, which tones up the vagus nerve, which is the master nerve that controls really all the feedback to the brain from the body. It starts in the brain, it's the 10th cranial nerve, and then it tracks down into the upper torso and down into the gut, and is the best feedbacker to the brain. So if your vagus nerve isn't in good shape, then your whole system's going to be out. Your nervous system will be out of balance. I also focus on the breath, and the breath is the constancy of our lives, and yet we take it for granted. Breathing consciously has untold benefits for body, spirit, and mind. And so my lodestone helps you to become more conscious of your breathing, and in so doing, it anchors you to here and now. Here and now. That's the reality. The rest is delusion, dream. And the third strand of my lodestone is your spine, because your spine is the key. It connects you with your consciousness, which is located in your spinal cord, running from the brain right down to the base of the spine. This is your consciousness, your unique consciousness, which connects the heavens and the earth. So these three things are my focus in Lodestone 1. Lodestone 2 is underway, and that will focus on other more detailed aspects of inflammation and so on. I'll tell you more about that very soon. So, yeah, our biology is sacred. As I just mentioned, we are the link between the heavens and the earth. And yet we deny that, some of us. We don't believe that that's possible. But that's the reality. Yeah, above you is the sky, below you is the earth. That's the reality, and that's what we have to really come to understand and accept. So, yeah, we are earth-made, we are spirit-linked, and we are DNA-coded survivors. I like that. That's my quote for today. We are earth-made, spirit-linked, and DNA-coded survivors. Our ancestors worked so hard to survive, and through that line of our ancestors, that line of DNA, which is a scientific concept, then we are here at the front of our ancestral line as the best survivors, the most advanced members of our ancestral line. And we have to be able to deal with the digital revolution, this digital era. But some of us are not dealing so well with it. So our nervous system is exactly designed to regulate and recover. It has those mechanisms inbuilt, but we don't listen to the body. We don't listen to the signals. We only listen to the mind, which is constantly distracting us away from the body. And thirdly, chronic inflammation is a superb opportunity because you're being signaled that there is a break, a gap in your sacred communication. So between the heaven and the earth, you're lost. You're not connected. Yeah, this is so important. And maybe very difficult for some people to understand. But really, it doesn't need understanding at the intellectual level. And that's one of the problems because, the world is dominated by the intellectual mind. But there are so many other types of minds. And that's another thing my lodestone will do. It will take you inside to find other tools that you can use to enlighten and illuminate your sacred life. Our biology is sacred. It's our blueprint. And we can't ignore it. If we do, there'll be trouble. So let me tell you a little bit more about my approach. Lodestone is the spiritual, but it's based in lots of research, neuroplasticity, Alexander technique, many established bodywork models, which I have worked with for many years. and Zinzino, which is a natural health company. It is entirely scientific, really. It's based on home blood tests and very natural balance, nutritional balance substances. So, yeah, there we are. Lodestone tones the vagus nerve, anchors the breath, aligns the spine. That's my lodestone through audio transmission. So if you join, you get 30 audio transmissions, each one unique. And really, it forms a pathway to rewire your brain and to recalibrate all your inner compasses. Last week I did a digest of all 4 inner compasses. The brain, brainstem, pineal gland is compass number 1. The heart and lungs, compass number 2. The solar plexus in the middle of the body is compass number 3. Right at the base of the spine is the base chakra, and this is where you produce all your energy. To complement that, Zinzino provides balance oils, and through a blood test at the beginning of the period of taking the oils and at the end, 120 days in fact, you then take the balance oils, which will restore your omega 6.3 balance. It will immediately, well, not immediately, but very quickly reduce cellular inflammation. And I know because it's happening with me. I've been using Zinzino products for a while now, and I really do feel the difference. So yes, my lodestone and Zinzino make a beautiful pair of practices to fill your days with. So, yeah, together, science and spirit, not soul so much, but spirit. This is a total system recalibration. And by the way, soul may speak to you, and that's why I've used it, but on the whole I use the word spirit. Soul has a lot of religious connotations, and I want to steer clear of that, as I mentioned earlier. So, yeah, just as an example, in just 2 weeks when I started to use lodestone and Zinzino balance oil, this is what happened. My headaches, which I tended to have because of a lot of screen work, didn't occur anymore. I was prone to mouth problems, in infections in my mouth and gums and in my sinuses, things like pollen allergy and so on. That's all gone, totally gone. I really noticed increased energy, which is amazing because I already have amazing energy, but yeah, even more energy, clarity, and, well, I've never had problems with mood because of my own practices, but yeah, I think other people may experience mood stability. So this is my proof that inflammation can be cooled naturally. The roaring fire inside your cells can be cooled by very natural means. You don't need surgery, you don't need mainstream medicine, chemicals, you don't need any of that. You just need to accept that you, with a little help from lodestone and Zinzino, have all the answers to your health problems. And your happiness too. Of course, it's difficult to be truly happy if we're not so healthy. So those two go very well together, I think. So if you want to be truly happy, you have to be truly healthy. Health is wealth. And by the way, that's the topic of my upcoming event 11 on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, the 23rd of July. And I'm going to be talking about health and wealth and inflammation, a little more on inflammation. So do join me for that. So what do you want to take away from this Q&A? I don't think I've got any questions. I'll just go back and have a look and see if there are any questions coming in. No, I haven't got any questions yet. They'll probably come later. So, yeah, what are your key takeaways? Well, really, inflammation is a full body warning system. Yeah, if you're experiencing it. And you may not know you're experiencing it, but there are many cases we've come across where people do the Zinzino blood test. And indeed, even though they go to the gym every day and they, do all the things they're supposed to do, their mind is not accepting their body signals. And so they find they've got high levels of inflammation, even quite young people. So, yeah, if you want to find out, better to find out than not to know, I think. Then please join me for a Zinzino blood test. I can very quickly put you in touch with how to get one of those. And let's get started, and also start my lodestone. Starting them together, people find, is the best way. So resilience is, in fact, your natural state. It's not something to force. Yeah, you were born resilient, and that comes from your ancestors, from your DNA, the development of the human species. You are resilient in a natural state, but you're living unnaturally, perhaps. You're living in an artificial way. So we need to get back to the natural. It is now proved that you can reduce inflammation with breath work, presence, and nutrition. And lots of alternative practitioners are supporting me on this. So let's go. And lodestone and Zinzino work from both ends, the somatic from the body and from the cellular. And that's the scientific input of their extraordinary blood tests and their products, which are all 100% natural. Healing, yeah, this word may not ring well with you, but yes, we are our own healers. We don't need strangers with qualifications to diagnose us and then proceed to give us an extraordinary regimen of medicines and tests and you name it, surgery and so on. We can heal ourselves. But healing is all to do with remembering who you really are. And I bet you've forgotten. It's a good question to ask yourself. Who am I? See what answer you get. And then we can start really rebuilding your nervous system and get you into touch with your true nature. So, yeah, resilience is so important, and you can see my image here. People work with me and they start collapsed and unhappy and taking medication and so on. Gradually, they, through breath, through the spine work I do, and through the vagus nerve stimulation I work with, they reach this stage and better. You know, they become balanced, healthy, noble human beings, which is what we all should be, I feel. Yeah, and yeah, here's your spine, your inner structure, which is a remarkable structure. And really, it wants to be calm. It wants to be settled in a calm ocean, So you need to make some changes. Perhaps you need to do some reformation of your life and of your way of life, perhaps. And so, yeah, please find out more. You can book a free 20-minute call with me if you want me to help you to diagnose your inflammation and so on. And the other important thing is that you can, just a moment, maybe I'll show you this test. We've just got a few left. Let me share my screen. Oh, wait a moment. Just 1 second. Share my screen. Okay, I'll share the entire screen. Okay. Well, let me just take you to my newest creation. Today I created, just a moment, let me get the link. Just 1 second. Yes, here it is. Just a moment. I'm showing you all my notes here. But yes, here it is. This one. Let me just show you. Okay, so if we open a new tab and take you to my latest creation, which is the lodestone. Okay. Well, it looks like I can't really show you, but anyway, I will put the link for my assessment. It's an assessment body scan, so you can do it. It's free, and if you want advice on the results, which will indicate to me how out of balance you are, then I'd love to talk to you about that. So I'll put the link into the box below the live window, and please take advantage of it, and let's connect so I can guide you to the next steps. So thank you so much for being with me today, and I hope that you've taken things away, good things away from this session. If you have any questions, it's not too late, it's never too late. You can always DM me or just leave questions under this live window and I'll get back to you immediately. So that's me for today, and I'll be here again next Friday for the Lodestone 1 Q&A. And yeah, I'm not sure what the topic will be next week, but you can bet it will be valuable and appropriate for everybody. Thank you so much for joining me, both LinkedIn members and YouTubers. Thank you. See you next week. This is Linden Thorp, Lodestone 1.